How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to run through an early match preview for the upcoming game between Scotland and Wales in the next round of the Six Nations. So please like and subscribe. Hopefully this video does give you the confidence to give me your subscription, in which case I will be truly grateful. But I wanted to have a chat with you guys today in relation to this game, because I can honestly see that this game becoming the best game of the Six Nations. We have everything on the line here. Not only do we have Scotland desperate for a win, they are in dire need of a win. They want to get they want to get their year back up and running. And if you had to ask me before the Six Nations had started, would you see Wales and Scotland being a difficult test? I would say no. I would say Scotland are going to run rampant through Wales. And that probably would have been true, with Gatland. But we saw the performance that Wales put in with Matt Sherritt and a couple key changes being made. And we saw completely different Wales. Now, Wales are in serious, desperate need of a win. Like I say, worst losing streak. They need to get things going. They are desperate for it. They're going to fight tooth and nail for it. And every single one of these players are going to be redlining the moment that game starts, right? Since Matt Sherritt took over, we saw the likes of Max Llewellyn, Anscombe come in and really, really make a difference. We saw the likes of Falatau come back from injury, really make a difference. And that really does help Jack Morgan put in ridiculous, performances. He's already playing top level. And this is just allowing Wales to just be that little bit more creative, give them their bite back, which is something that they had lost. And we saw in every single game, they didn't have teeth, right? They were lackluster. They were predictable. There was nothing about them. And then we see the Ireland game, and we see the pressure that they're putting on. We see Falatau putting in a beautiful performance. We see Llewellyn putting in a brilliant performance. Anscombe, really starting to make things tick. And this is something that was needed from the beginning of the Six Nations. But this is why I say this is bound to be one of the best games of the Six Nations so far, because the fight, just everything is going to be going into this game, and we're going to see two teams desperate for a win. And we are sure to see some of the best rugby you're going to see around, because this is going to be a fight, right? So let's take a look into Scotland first, and we're going to go into Wales. So Scotland, obviously, I'm not 100% sure as to where Darcy Graham's going to be back. I'd imagine he should be back and ready. We've seen Finn Russell come back. And while we're on the point of Finn Russell, I do feel Finn Russell, he has all the potential in the world. And right now, I am doubting whether he's actually going to get a Lions spot. If Andy Farrell takes, previous history into consideration, yeah, sure. He's probably going to get a Lions spot. But if you take in consideration performances, players like Sam Prendergast, players like Finn Smith have actually been outperforming him. And it always seems to be Finn Russell seems to be his own worst enemy, right? Because like I say, when things are not going his way, things really do not go his way, and he doesn't really do much to help it, And I do feel he's very much here, then everywhere at points, and he can be such a good player. But recently, you've seen a lot of bad mistakes. And yeah, things just not going their way. Arguably, in terms of the England game, there's a lot of people saying England didn't win the game, Scotland lost it, which I can see that, because Scotland made so many stupid mistakes. They made so many stupid handling errors, wrong decisions when they should be going for, to push for the try. They're going, they just putting up for lineouts. They aren't converting when it's time to be going in for penalties, getting in points on the board. They're trying to run the ball, and it just feels like, yes, a lot of decisions aren't necessarily going Scotland's way, but they also aren't helping their situation, like, at all. So I feel Scotland have so much ridiculous raw talent. You have players like Duhan van der Merwe, who he's just an Adonis. The guy's practically a Greek Dutch god. He's not Greek, but you get what I mean. The guy, he's got everything. He's got everything you could want in a winger. If the likes of Darcy Graham comes back, we could see like some serious talent on show. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this game plays out, because we could see an absolute monstrous Scotland side on the day. But at the same time, we could see that Scotland side that are giving away penalties, that are giving away tries, passing the ball to the opponents, making stupid mistakes that should never be happening. So honestly, I would love to see a ridiculous side come in, because you look at player for player, they are stacked. They are absolutely stacked, especially their backs. They have some of the most creative and most devastating backs in the world. But can they utilize them? That is the difference, right? Because we saw up against England, England made them hurt. We saw up against Ireland, Ireland made them hurt. And honestly, with the Wales side, I feel they they're going to struggle in terms of lineouts. They're going to struggle in terms of scrummaging, because Wales, they actually have like a ridiculous statistic when it comes to scrummaging. They actually top the charts for winning scrummages. They're like 90% of their scrummages they win. So they are. I think this is where the game is going to be won and lost. Wales are going to be really pushing for the scrums, for the lineouts, trying to gain territory. Yes, they might not necessarily hold all the possession, but I feel this game will be won on the territory and how much pressure the Welsh side puts on Scotland, right? Because Wales are really going to be, they're going to be forcing errors. They're going to be jackling like there's no tomorrow. And we saw up against that Ireland squad, they were keeping composure, right? They were composed. They weren't giving too many reasons for them to be called up on stuff. So, and on top of that, fighting like there's no tomorrow. So, yeah, Scotland's going to have a real test on their hands. Now, people are going to say, "Oh, it's just one game from Wales. We saw all of a year worth of games that have been horrible and blah 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 blah." Yes, we saw one game up against the second best team in the world, right? And yes, Ireland did come back and absolutely obliterate them. But that's not my point. My point is, we've seen a toothless Wales for God knows how long under Gatland. And then come Matt Sherritt making the changes that was genuinely needed. All of a sudden, oh, we see a Wales side that is actually ahead. They managed to get, 18 points past the board with with Ireland. All of a sudden, they're putting pressure. They're making breaks. Their plays are, they're running lines. Yes, it's one game, and yes, this might not necessarily be a permanent thing, but it's promise. It's a lot of promise, right? Now we look into Wales, right? Because we've seen Max Llewellyn, we've seen Anscombe coming in, getting rid of these bloody youth prospects that have like 5 caps to their name. Don't get me wrong. Players need their chance. But inexperienced players do not need their chance when you are 15 losses in a row. That is where you need experience to get you out of that hole. And having a player like, for instance, Max Llewellyn, who's been banging in tries for Gloucester. You have Gareth Anscombe, again, who's been playing brilliantly for Gloucester. We saw what Gareth Anscombe is capable of doing up against Ireland, right? Obviously, having a player like Faletau come back, and just bossing it, just being such a brilliant ball carrier, seeing an old school Faletau come back, right? Giving that extra support to Jack Morgan as well, that was needed. Giving that experience, that calmness, that ability to play under pressure. It was needed. It was needed. We saw a completely different Wales, a Wales that have found that spirit, they have found that life. It's like they found the reason to put on that bloody Welsh shirt and what it means to wear that Welsh shirt. Because the Gatland Wales deserved to be where they are in the world rankings below Georgia. The Wales that we saw up against Ireland, that's a team that deserves top 5, top 6 in the world. And yeah, you might be saying I'm ridiculous, but look at what they did to Ireland. Now you put that into context over, let's say Scotland, we could see a completely different game. We put that squad, we put that Wales side up against an Italy team. We don't see Italy beating Wales. We see Wales dominating Italy with that just sheer physicality, that force, that pressure, putting so much on those forwards, gaining possession, jackling like there's no bloody tomorrow, gaining territory and pushing, getting in tries. We could see a completely different Wales. And I'm going to bet my money on that this game is not going to be a walk in the park for Scotland. No matter how good they are, Wales is going to make them hurt. And honestly, if Wales do not come away with a win, we might see Scotland win by 1-2 points, potentially a penalty or so. Wales are going to put so much pressure on the Scotland side. They're going to need a breather. They're going to need players like Kinghorn and Finn Russell to relieve pressure. This Wales side, and we look at the we look at the tries that were scored for Wales, and we look how well they move things out to the wide. Using their ability. It is a scary, scary prospect. It is a very, very scary prospect. So this is going to be a close game. This is going to be a very, very close game because Wales do have some serious talent that are young. But the Scotland game is going to come down to those experienced players. If Faletau has a brilliant game, Jack Morgan puts in a bloody performance, and then we see the likes of Anscombe really, really control the game the way he should, the way I think he will, we could see a very, very good Wales side here. So my predictions, personally, I feel Scotland is going to win. But like I say, it's going to be a very, very small amount. But I could definitely see Wales coming through with an upset, getting a win on the board. And if they can get that win on the board, all we know, with a resurgent Wales, we might see a Wales side that doesn't get the wooden spoon. Is that a possibility? It's going to come down to the Scotland game and how it's played. So let me know what your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Maybe I'm talking some absolute BS and you guys want to show it to me, right? Comments in the comment section below. And as always, please like and subscribe as it really does help my channel grow. And on that note,